The airport stranger. Emma sat in the crowded airport terminal, frustration mounting as the announcement of her delayed flight echoed through the speakers. She glanced at her watch, sighing, when something caught her eye. A man sitting across from her, completely immersed in a book she had read and loved. Unable to resist, she leaned forward and said, "That's one of my favorite books." The man looked up, surprised, but his face broke into a warm smile. "Really, it's amazing so far." "I'm Alex." "I'm Emma," she replied. "And trust me, the ending is worth it." What started as small talk about the book quickly evolved into a deeper conversation. They laughed about their mutual love of travel, shared stories of places they'd been, and even confessed their strange quirks. Emma's love of collecting postcards and Alex's habit of keeping a journal on every trip. Minutes turned into hours, and for a moment, Emma forgot about her delayed flight. She was surprised at how easy it was to talk to Alex, a complete stranger who now felt oddly familiar. When her flight was finally called, she felt a pang of disappointment. As she gathered her things, Alex reached for a napkin from the coffee table, scribbled his number, and handed it to her. "Call me if you ever feel like continuing this conversation," he said with a grin. Emma hesitated for a moment, then smiled. "I will." True to her word, she called him a few days later. That one conversation turned into many calls, texts, and eventually dates. Over time, their connection grew into something neither of them had anticipated. That day at the airport, 3 years later, Emma and Alex stood together at that same terminal, not waiting for separate flights, but boarding a plane for their honeymoon. As they walked hand in hand, Emma glanced at him and said, "I guess delays aren't so bad after all." Alex chuckled. "They're the best when they bring you to the right person."